Hello. Hi, it's Tuesday, and I was wanting to get this video on here yesterday, but the Father's been working some amazing things in my heart this week. I'm spending a lot of time in the Word and prayer, and seeking Him about some stuff that I've been dealing with on my own. And so He did something really amazing for me in the middle of the night. I was not sleeping great because of these things that I have been working through. And so what he did was he gave me these two really clear visions while I was laying there awake. And I wanted to share them with you because they're not just for me. I know that they're not. I know that there's people out there who need to hear why they've been stuck. So hopefully this helps you. So click on subscribe, click on the bell, and make sure that you guys are getting on here, because even if you've subscribed and clicked on the bell, I'm new to YouTube, and so they won't always show you my videos. So anyway, I'm hoping that you guys get as much blessing out of this as I did. It made a huge difference for me and what's going on in my life and what he's working through with me. So I'm not giving you any scripture verses today because these are visions he's poured into my heart, but they line up with the word. And if you want to figure out how they line up with the word, I'm happy to chat with you about it. You can put it in the comment or go to my website and we can talk about it. So the first vision was this trash heap. And so what was happening? It was one of those trash heaps like in Cambodia or in the Philippines where you see little children living in the trash. It was just piled way, way high and just full of disgusting, nasty, putrid, icky, horrid trash. And then there were these builders that came along and they wanted to build a skyscraper on top of this trash pile. And they didn't bother getting the haulers out and pulling the trash out of that place. They didn't bother cleaning it up in any way. It was still completely stuffed full of trash. And they tried to build a building on top of the trash. So every time they would put up these walls for the first story, like they wanted to build the skyscraper way tall, and they kept trying to put this first story on, and they'd be holding it up with poles. They'd be doing everything they could. They're yelling, they're working hard, they're holding these walls up, and every single time the trash would shift and the walls would fall. So just remember that the trash would shift and the walls would fall down. And they, instead of saying, wow, we better clean up this trash, they just tried to build the building again. So they'd get all frustrated, they're all flustered, they're just working their buns off to get this building going. And still they'd build it again, first story, and it would crash. And they kept wondering, why can I not build this building? I'm supposed to build this building. I can't get it higher than the first floor. I'm not going anywhere. Nothing's happening. And then they finally gave up on building the building. All right. And then I was laying there pondering that vision, just praying through it. And the Father gave me another vision right after. And these two visions are completely related to each other. And so the second one kind of helps explain the first. So the second vision was this great big barn, and I have notes down here. So if I look down, it's because I'm looking at the notes that I wrote from the vision. But there was this great big barn with a ton of rooms in it. And each room had a bunch of poles in there, and people were chained to the poles. So they had a chain around their ankle and then a chain that went around the pole. And these people were trying to run in a race. They didn't realize they were just running in a circle around the pole. They thought they were running in a race, and they're running their hardest and they're going as fast as they can, but their ankle was chained to the pole and they just kept going around in circles. Each one of the poles had a name. So I'm going to read to you some of the names of the poles. There was sickness. There was depression. There was slander. There was gossip. There was bitterness, abuse, trauma, memories, pride, hate, offense, expectation, So each of these poles had a name written on it, and the person was just running around in circles. So I came in with this wire cutter, and I was cutting, going to the person and saying, hey, 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 stop, you've got to stop. And we would cut the chain, and then they could run the race that they were stuck, that they couldn't move forward in before. Some of these people, when I'd break their chain, they would take up a tool and they would go break somebody else's chain. So some of the people just kept running. They got in the race, they got in their mode, they were set free, they were able to run. Some went to help their neighbor. So they took the tool and they went to the next room, and they each had a room that they were going to where they were cutting the chain. And then some, this was the sad part, some just kept running around in the circle. The chain was broken, but they still were running around in a circle. They didn't realize that they could either join the race or they could take up a tool and go set somebody else free. So those two, I just laid there in awe after these visions. I was like, oh, Father, that is so amazing. And I was praying through it and talking to him about it. And he gave me the interpretation. So both of these visions point to how we're stuck in miry, messy, yucky, trashy memories, wounds, emotions, trauma, offense, unforgiveness, judgment, all these kinds of things. We get stuck in them, and these thoughts and wounds and trauma keep us from running the race that he's given us to run. And they keep us from building the buildings and accomplishing the goals and living the purpose that he's given for us to live. And we're stuck in these chains or in this trash. And instead of cleaning out the trash, and instead of breaking off the chains, we just get running around in circles. We just stay stuck in that, either the chain that's kept us going around the pole, or we keep trying to build and it keeps falling down and we can't figure out why. We can't get that purpose moving. We can't get that business going. We can't get that friendship healed. We can't get our family healed. We can't get our physical bodies healed because we're stuck. We're stuck in that emotion. We're stuck in that trauma, and we're not willing to deal with it. And we just keep stuffing it down, and we just keep trying to build on top of it or trying to run despite it. And so, anyway, when those chains are broken, we can run. And when the trash is removed, we can build. Okay, so this is just, it was like huge for me, for my life, because I've been dealing with some trash that I'm trying to get out of my life. I've been finding that I've been really easily offended lately. And he's been working with me on saying, oh, I release that person, I bless them, I pray for them, and I just let it go. And as I work through those offenses, I find more and more little things that have been in my life that I hadn't even realized were there. And as I get rid of each one, I'm getting set free so that I can move forward. So I hope that helps you. I hope that's a blessing to you. Make sure you put something in the comments to let me know if that touches your life and if it affects you in any way. You can go to my website, let me know. I'm going to be putting some more stuff on my blog there to talk about it as well. And in my group, which is called The Bridge, From Broken to Beautiful, we're going to be talking about that a lot this week. And so I'm here for you to help you. We're all going through this together. It's not just one or the other. The Father cares about you. He cares about the mission he's given you and the purpose and the calling he's got for you. And he doesn't want you to be running in circles or building on top of a trash heap. So be blessed today. There is hope for you. Let's deal with those old wounds. Let's deal with those old traumas. And let's get some healing and move forward. If you need help dealing with those wounds and those traumas, go to my Anointed to Soar page on my website. It's in the description, and set up an appointment, and I will help you with that. So have a beautiful day.